Allegations of employees being forced to work overtime, missed meals in New York City's most famous jail. Take a look right here at this ad in the Daily News. It caught our attention earlier this week, which claims officers at Rikers Island are being forced to work triple shifts. That is a full 24 hours during the pandemic. Correction Officer Union President Boscio Jr. joining me now to explain what exactly is going on inside the jails from their perspective. Good morning to you, Benny.
Good morning, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here. So this ad caught our attention. In it, you claim that officers are being forced to work back-to-back shifts, being forced to miss meals. How many of your members would you say have come forward to file these kinds of complaints?
Oh, we've had tons of officers come forward to us. Many are afraid of retaliation by the agency. But this is the reality of what correction officers are going through today. Triple shifts, no meals. We have officers having to sleep in their cars because they're afraid to drive home because they're too tired. It's deplorable. It's unacceptable. You know, we all know that last year, when COVID first hit us, 1,400 correction officers ended up contracting COVID. This is when the triple shift started.
Yeah.
We ended up going to court, getting a TRO, forced the mayor to say that it was a dumb managerial mistake back then. And here we are 11 months later.
Yeah.
And what do we call it now? Incompetency?
So for those who don't know, a TRO is a temporary restraining order against what you were fighting for right there. So less than a year ago, though, the mayor did send out this tweet vowing that 24-hour shifts were inhumane. However, this was before the pandemic reached its peak. Have there been discussions, Benny, with the city about getting funding to then hire more officers, even though the jails on Rikers are said to be closing in a number of years, right? And there's less of an inmate population right now.
Yes, well, we've been sounding the alarm. We've had talk. Us going public with this forced City Hall to basically talk to us. The agency, it lacks communication with the union, and we've been sounding the alarm for quite some time. The inmate population is actually on a rise, 5,500 inmates. And this is where we're at today. You know, it's unacceptable. There hasn't been a recruit class in 2 years, and they poorly planned for this. And we need about 1,500 correction officers to rectify this problem.
Benny, let me ask you this, because many people might be saying at home, why can't the officer just say, I don't want to work a triple shift?
Well, because look, we're essential workers. We're first responders. We provide security for the city. And what this has created is a public safety issue, right? If correction officers can't function and are driving home and get into a car accident, you're putting the public, not only our correction officers' lives at risk.
I understand, but I understand that, but is there fear of a retaliation, or they may lose their job if they say, I'm sorry, I can't work a triple shift, I have to get home, I'm a single mom, I'm a single dad, I have kids?
Absolutely. There's fear. They had supervisors at the gates threatening officers that they would be fired if they went home. This is the reality of what we're going through. It's deplorable.
So are you seeing an increase as well then on the number of attacks on your officers inside the jail since the pandemic began?
Yes, absolutely. We're dealing with a more hardened criminal. Assaults are spiking very high on my members, forcing many of them to go out injured, which is medically monitored status, which is like a light duty, which is contributing to the factor. Because if they can't work overtime because they're injured based on all these assaults on staff, and this is why, you know, we're in this situation. But it's poor planning. It's gross mismanagement by the agency. Somebody should be fired for this.
Poor planning is what you're saying. We did reach out to the mayor's office to get their response. We are still waiting for them to actually get back to us on the response to your claims right there. So we will continue to follow this story, Benny. But while I have you here, the last time we discussed, you were looking to fight to get vaccines for your officers. Just want to get a quick update on that. Vaccines now available.
Yes, they are. We'll give the mayor credit for that. Vaccines are available for correction staff. We are receiving it daily. Walk-ins are available on Rikers Island for us.
And so do you know how many officers would you say have been vaccinated?
Maybe 1,500 or so, I believe.
But the vaccine does continue to be available. There's not a shortage or supply. It's not a supply issue right now.
No, not as of right now.
Okay. Blasio Jr., we're going to continue to stay on top of that story for us. Any new developments for you, let us know, and we're going to continue to wait for that response from the mayor's office. Thanks for your time this morning.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me again, Dan.
Of course.